Alright, hey guys, Merbo's TCG back with another video. So this is the April 2022 deck profile for Infernoids. This is a post-ban list where Monster Gate has been limited to 1, which has been really damaging for the deck. But I've decided to stick to a pure Infernoid build. I've been testing different builds, skill drain, hybrid builds, and stuff like that. Decided I wanted to just do pure Infernoids and just want to hear what you guys think and like other builds you guys would want to see me try out and tell you what I think about them. So here we have 2 Infernoid Anunsu. So Anunsu is your this is your Dark Hole and your Spell Trap Negate, which is pretty good. And to the Vyadi, which is the opposite, it's your Heavy Storm and Monster Negate. Really important to have these two. You need to have 2 copies of each. You know, you're going to be using them for Void Feast and for Void Imagination. So at the very least, you need to have 2 copies. They can be bricky though, so they are limited to 2 copies for this build. Here we have one Atondo. Atondo is for the name and it can attack twice. It can be pretty useful if you're going to try to finish your opponent. Especially with Dual Little Chimera. Here we have Infernoid Sightsumis. So Sightsumis, it attacks and it does a non-target banish. That is great. And here we have Sajet. Sajet, its attack, when it declares an attack, your opponent has to banish a card from the extra deck. They get to choose. That's not too important, but the main thing is that it's a level 6, so it works well with your Void Feast. And then here we have Patrulia. So Patrulia is your spell destruction, which is important. Harmadic, monster destruction, and they're just like Infernoids that you can get out for a pretty cheap cost. And yeah, pretty great for that. Antra, your bounce, again, cheap cost summon. And then here, 3 Decatrons, it's still as important as ever, even more so because of Void Feast. And yeah, you can even use it to just like normal summon 1, and once you normal summon that 1, you can just send a Devyadi, and then you have hand trap protection, which is great to see for this deck, since it's an easy negate that you can just summon right off the bat. And then for hand traps here, or I guess for the rest of the monster lineup, here we have 3 Gammas. So Gamma and of course the driver. So the 3 Gamma and the driver are important because you're going to be using Void Banishment and Void Feast a lot to special summon. And if they try to Ash the Vanishment or the Feast, you get a free, you get to get these 2 out for free. And then go to a Cyframe Lord Omega or whatever you choose to do with it. Lava Golem, really great card. If you're going to be going second a lot with this deck. So having this is very important just to get rid of your opponent's annoying cards, and then from there you can easily break the board. I've done this before with Adventure Token. I'm probably going to show the dual replay for that actually soon. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the monster lineup. Now let's go to the spells and traps. Okay guys, so for the spells and traps, we are still running 3 Void Vanishment. It is an important card. You're going to want to see it going first, going second. It's great. You know, Vanishment is going to be your main searcher for your Void cards. And yeah, it's even more important now since Void Feast is a bigger focus in the deck. And then here we have 3 Imaginations. If you're going second, you're going to want to see Imagination. They most likely set up an extra a monster from the extra monster zone. A monster from the extra deck, sorry. And yeah, that's important to see, because if they do establish that, you get so much value with this 1 card. As long as they don't like Ash it or anything. But that's why you have the Cyframe Gamma, and that's why you can normal summon a Decatron to protect these type of cards. Very important. Void Apocalypse. So Void Apocalypse is not the greatest Void card. Just to show you guys, since this card has not been used that often. Basically with Void Apocalypse, you can discard 1 card, send 1 Fiend monster from your deck to the grave, and then you can send this face-up card from your spell and trap card zone to the grave, and send Inferno monsters with different names from your hand or deck to the grave, up to a number of monsters from your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck. So basically similar to Imagination in the sense that you get more value if your opponent has monsters from the extra deck. But it's just an easy pitch to fill up your grave, and it's just a void card that stays on the field and that could be relevant for the Void Feast. Basically, it's just there for the name. And then here we have the 3 Pot of Extravagance. So Pot of Extravagance is really important for this deck, as you're going to want to dig into the Vanishment, and it's a good, it could be a pretty good bait for an Ash Blossom in case you already have a Vanishment. But yeah, Pot of Extravagance is really good to see, and it's even going to be in the structure deck, so it's going to be even more accessible for you guys if you still don't have 3 copies. Here we have 3 Layer of Darkness. So Layer of Darkness, I think, is still very important for this deck. I think having three of this is great. Once you have it on the field, really I guess when I do the test hands, I'm gonna show you guys some like ideal boards. Hopefully I get them with the test hands. But Layer of Darkness is something you definitely want to see, especially if you go first. And yeah, and here we have some 1-ofs for the spells. Raigeki, just be able to destroy your opponent's monsters, easy as that. I'm waiting for like for us to be able to get access, or if you guys have Lightning Storm, I would suggest running that too. Lightning Storm is great, it's just that right now it's pretty costly, but once it gets reprinted, I'm definitely gonna run it here. 1 Reasoning still at 1. Remember when Reasoning was at 3, guys? But yeah, Reasoning still at 1, and now Monster Gate is at 1. Which sucks, but you know, I still run the 1 copy as a special interaction with Layer of Darkness, and you still get a good amount of value out of the card. So definitely, I still run it. And the 3 Void Feast. So Void Feast is now a big highlight of the deck. Void Feast is such a good card, since you can just send 1 Void Spell Trap from your hand, or face up field to the grave, so summon up to 3 Infernoid monsters from your deck whose total levels equal 8, ignoring their summoning conditions. So you just get so much value from the card. I'm going to be showing you guys with the test hands how much value you can just get with this card. And yeah, that's why you need another Void name here, just so that we can have more targets. And out of the Void cards, these were the best ones to get here. I was considering running a Void Seer, since that's a pretty fun card that I enjoyed like during the early days of Infernoid. But decided that Void Apocalypse can just build up some value and can be a decent bait for some cards. So I decided to stick with that. But yeah, now we're going to go to the extra deck, guys. Okay, guys, now for the extra deck, we're going to start right with the Link one. So this is Link Kuriboh. So Link Kuriboh is, you know, it's just going to be your way. If Decatron gets negated, you can just get Decatron off the board. That's going to be the main reason for this. I also consider running a Relinquish Anima. Really, it's up to you. I'm still not quite sure which one to go with, but, you know, it doesn't really matter since it doesn't happen often. But it's just kind of, Anima could be pretty good if they're not careful about their zone placements. So it's just something to consider. Gravity Controller, if they... you know, if you summon Tierra and it gets negated or something, you just need a way to get rid of it, and that's a great way to go about it. Wee Witch Apprentice, you have Layer of Darkness that turns them into darks. So Wee Witch Apprentice is great for this. It's still your way of finishing your opponent. Little Chimera serves the same role without your Layer of Darkness, so it's good to have that. And I finally got my Hida. Hida is so good. So this card makes it a lot easier to finish your opponent, since you're just able to steal their Ash Blossoms if they decide to try to use it on you during your turn. And yeah, that's pretty great. Just take it, and then you can go into a Crusadia. Okay, guys, and here we have Dark. Dark is kind of the same idea. You know, when you have Layer of Darkness, they turn into darks. And then, you know, a lot of people play dark monsters, so this is great just to be able to steal some things. Decided to go with 1 Dark, and then 1 Wee Witch. And then 1 Doolittle, 1 Hida. They kind of serve different roles, and they're still pretty good. So even worst case scenario, you know, Pot of Extravagance, if it gets rid of you know, the Hida over the Doolittle, or the Doolittle over the Hida, they serve different functions. But usually, if you're able to get enough value in your enough Infernoids in your grave, it shouldn't matter. But yeah, this has been like kind of the sort of what's it called, the ratio that I've been trying to figure out. I wasn't quite sure if I should run 2 Hidas, or, you know, well, I'm pretty confident with like the Dark and the Wee Witch Apprentice. I think that's pretty good on its own. But like 2 Hidas I've considered. But I think Doolittle Chimera and Wee Witch Apprentice are really good, just because they make it so easy to finish your opponent. without summoning Crusadia. Speaking of which, to Crusadia, because you don't want your opponent, you don't want it like Pot of Extrab, both copies, which happens sometimes, but that's just the way you gotta play. Cyframe Lord Omega, really great. It's just a free synchro monster you can get out if your opponent tries to play during your cards, stop your banishment, stop your feast, do whatever. You can stop them. Here we have the 3 Nest. Of course, Tierra targets that just can pop 3 of your opponent's cards or pop your own Tierra depending on your situation. And then 3 Infernoid Tierra. Decided to bump it up by 1 more copy because of the Pot of Extrab. You want to make sure that you have access to it, and it's another Infernoid name in case you need it. You can just ditch it with the Tierra. But yeah, pretty good. I've been enjoying this deck. It's not as I kind of like the consistency with the Monster Gate one, but it's been surprisingly really good. And yeah, I want to know if you guys have any ideas of how to improve it or changes you would make or what you guys think about the deck. And yeah, I hope you guys look forward to the test hands, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.